Hello everybody and welcome to another episode of Spirit of Justice. We are heading into the first day of the trial, which is more or less just a civil dispute, so technically Phoenix Wright isn't really a prosecutor in this case, it's just dealing with a dispute between an orb, really, just deciding what that is. We're not really prosecuting anyone per se. So, let's get going with this. I've tried to adjust my mic. It's being weird on me today.
Just so you know, I'm not gonna take sides. Message received, loud and clear. Good, because I don't like this one bit. You and Daddy should be on the same team. Sorry, Trucy. Wow, she's really mad.
I'm sorry, too, little lady. This is all my fault.
I'm just worried things will never be the same between Daddy and Apollo.
Oh, they'll be fine. They just eat over dinner. They'll have dinner and it'll be good. They'll be fine.
If they go through with this.
Is that all? Well, I wouldn't worry about that. That's the way it is with us men. We may fight, but we don't burn bridges.
Really?
Sure. One minute we're trading blows, and the next, we're having drinks together. We're simple creatures at heart.
I sure hope you're right. Sorry I'm late, Apollo.
Athena, there you are.
What happened with you and Mr. Wright yesterday? Oh, about that. I ended up going to the wrong airport.
Oh my goodness.
I was waiting there thinking his flight was really late, and before I knew it, I dozed off. By the time I woke up, it was already dark.
I figured something like that had happened. Oops, shit.
Being late and dozing off are the two things you do best. Ah, guilty as charged.
So then, I take it you have no idea what today's case is about.
Not a clue. Sorry. What is today's case about, if I might ask? Another locked room mystery? A suspect with a flimsy alibi? Ooh, or a dying message?
Sorry, strike 3, you're out. It's a civil case.
A civil case?
You act like I speak Swahili here.
It's just the Right Anything Agency specializes in criminal law, or so I thought. In civil cases, there are no prosecutors, right? Instead, both parties retain an attorney.
Right, and the other attorney is someone you know very well.
Really? Who?
Gregory Edgeworth. The trial will begin shortly. Please proceed to the courtroom at once.
Okay, let's do this. Apollo, wait! Who's the other attorney? And where is Mr. Wright?
No time to explain. Let's go.
Okay, I'm right behind you.
Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Oh shit. Court is now in session. Oh, is this some sort of a practice session? A mock trial, perhaps?
No, it's not, Your Honor.
It's the real deal, Your Honor.
So then you two had a falling out. I won't have you using my court for that, you know.
It's nothing like that, Your Honor.
Does he know what the case is about?
Exactly. It just so happens that we have different clients in this case.
I see. Well, here's to hoping this has no adverse effect on your working relationship.
You can say that again? I had no idea we'd be going up against the boss today. Aw, you sure this is a good idea, Apollo?
What? Do you want to switch sides?
Honestly, I'd rather be anywhere but here right now.
Well, at least she is here. I'm really going to need her help. You're fine, Apollo.
Mr. Justice.
Yes?
Don't expect me to pull any punches just because you're the opposing lawyer. As I said, the kid gloves are off. And come what may, they'll stay off.
Why so serious?
Same here, Mr. Wright. If it's a fight you want, it's a fight you'll get.
Is this gonna be a glaring contest instead? 'Cause that'd be easy to do.
Yeesh, you guys are really chomping at the bit, aren't you?
I don't mind a good fight between co-workers. Just keep this civil case civil. Now then, if the plaintiff would take the stand, we may begin. Are we talking with Emma first, I guess? Right, left, halt! Never mind, it's this jerk.
Noble judge, members of the gallery, good day to you. I am politician. This is but the start of my epic campaign, and you all have the honor of witnessing it. I believe the youth of this country are our very future. Too long have we been looked down on and given the cold shoulder. So to them I say, ask not what you can do for your country, ask what you can do for me.
Mr. Optician, what is that crazy contraption you're riding? How did you bring it in here?
It's my custom-made election-winning campaign mobile. Beautiful, isn't
He's
it?
behind the times, just saying. You're at a witness stand, not a campaign podium. So come out of there this instant. Alright, now with the plaintiff's attorney, Mr. Wright. Please explain the complaint filed against the defendant.
Mr. Attishan's complaint against the defendant is simple. The defendant, one Dirk Sadmati, stole my client's family heirloom, the crystal of Amife. Mr. Attishan merely seeks its return.
This wouldn't have happened if that archaeologist hadn't kicked the bucket.
I see. Well, Mr. Justice, let's have your opening statement if you would.
The defense asserts the item in question is the Founder's Orb, a sacred relic from Khurain.
Go on.
It seems someone asked an archaeologist, Dr. Archie Buff, to study the orb. Dr. Buff determined that it was a Khurainese national treasure known as the Founder's Orb. The very orb that was stolen from a treasure room in Khurain several weeks ago.
Why, yes, I saw a news report about that. The theft of a Khurainese national treasure caused quite an uproar in the kingdom.
Well, we believe that it was not, in fact, a theft in the traditional sense, but rather that it was spirited out of Khurain by someone for Dr. Buff to study.
You don't say. And?
Around that time, an acquaintance of the defendant learned of Dr. Buff. He made contact with the doctor, who agreed to hand over the orb. Apparently, the doctor wanted nothing to do with it once he learned it had been stolen.
It seems you even have a transfer agreement between both parties.
Mr. Samadi also agreed to return the Founder's Orb to the Kingdom of Khurain, once the doctor verified it was the real thing.
I see. So this dispute centers on whether the item in question is the Founder's Orb or the Crystal of Amife. Or maybe it's both. That, in turn, will determine the object's rightful owner.
I better bring my A game. Going up against Mr. Wright won't be a walk in the park.
Come to think of it, the name Dirk Samadi sounds awfully familiar. But I can't recall where I've heard it.
Oh, it's probably your imagination, Your Honor. He's just a tourist, after all.
My imagination, you say?
Are you sure about this, Apollo? He's a wanted criminal in Khurain, isn't he? In Khurain, yes. Here he's just a tourist.
That loophole! Very well, let's begin the proceedings. Bailiff, would you bring in the first witness? Okay, so maybe it is Emma then. Dude, she's got some nice shoes. Damn hips, too.
Emma?
Show some manners. We're in court.
I know, it's just... This is a civil trial, so I was surprised to see a detective take the stand.
I had her do some digging on Dr. Buff.
What for?
You disappoint me, Apollo. First, you know I'm not just a detective. I'm a forensic scientist. Do try to remember that. Second, you owe Mr. Wright an apology. After all he's done for you, you have some nerve.
All he's done for Apollo? List all the things he's actually done for him.
First, I'm sorry, and second, I'm really just trying to do my job.
You'll never get anywhere with that attitude. Take some advice from someone who's been there.
Why do I feel like I'm on trial here?
Detective Sky, your testimony if you please. The doctor's dark secret. Ooh, spooky.
The police have had their eyes on Dr. Buff for some time. And just today, a number of stolen artifacts were discovered in his study. Among them were a priceless urn and a statue that were stolen from the Fake Land.
Oh, they didn't belong to him. Oh.
It seems the doctor would do anything to study artifacts, including steal them. As for the relic at the center of this debate, he likely stole it from the Attition residence.
The doctor is a thief? Why am I just hearing about this now?
Well, cat burglar isn't exactly something he'd put on his resume. He was more careful than that. But the fact is, he was a classic treasure hunter.
A treasure hunter, huh? Like people who have thrilling adventures in exotic places, risking life and limb for glory? I doubt Dr. Buff was the star of his own hit movie series, Athena.
Out of respect for the dead, I will say that Dr. Buff wasn't doing it to get rich. Apparently, he only wanted to borrow artifacts to study them. He would then return them as soon as his research was finished.
According to the doctor's child, he would even repair or restore some of the artifacts he stole before returning them.
Oh, well, that's nice of him.
He believed he was honoring the dead by discovering their history through artifacts. But whatever lofty ideals he held, it makes no difference. Larceny is larceny.
Yes, he certainly sounds no different from a regular thief to me.
So, let's say for a moment that the doctor really did moonlight in stealing artifacts. Might he not have stolen the Founder's Orb in Khurain and brought it back here himself?
Nope. There's no record of him traveling overseas over the past few years. Plus, he couldn't very well leave his reclusive child at home all alone.
Then this really must be the crystal Balmy Fae.
Yes, he stole it from the Attition residence, probably so he could study it.
Well, this is the left hook I did not need. I bet you never saw that coming, Apollo. Yeah, when Mr. Wright said the kid's gloves were off, he wasn't kidding.
Something's still up, though. Mr. Justice, you may proceed with your cross-examination. Let's do it.
How exactly did Dr. Buff arouse the suspicion of the police anyway?
chalk it up to good old-fashioned sleuthing. After investigating countless artifact thefts over the past few years, the police finally zeroed in on him and the doctor became their prime suspect.
A number of those artifact thefts occurred in Khurain village too, if I might add. And they started right around the time the doctor moved there.
But he was never arrested. I take it there was nothing concrete linking him to a crime?
No, which is why we were never able to get a search warrant in the first place. It's hard to arrest artifact thieves unless you catch them red-handed. Still, the police had him under constant surveillance.
Are you sure these allegedly stolen artifacts are the real deal?
They're not fakes, that's for sure. Take the urn, for example. Apparently, it's an extremely intricate work of art. Its design, cracks, and other features would be impossible to replicate perfectly.
There's something really funny about this.
Actually, I've had a few run-ins with that urn myself. So I was shocked to see it there in the doctor's study. I can say without a doubt that that urn was stolen from the Fae clan.
I see.
Detective Sky, please continue with your testimony if you would.
Were any other stolen artifacts found besides those belonging to the Faes?
Yes. For instance, remember the large relief on the wall? It was chiseled out of some ancient ruins in the kingdom of Khurain several years ago.
Chiseled out? Didn't that damage it?
Well, he did restore the parts that were so faded you could barely see them anymore. It seems he intended to return it someday, so one could say his intentions were good. But good intentions are no get-out-of-jail-free card. That's a fact.
If I might add, with respect for the deceased, the quality of the restoration was apparently exceptional. It seems the doctor invested a lot of money in hiring an extremely talented specialist.
He sounds like a good man who took a wrong turn somewhere. I guess Sarge takes after him in that way.
Any further questions? If not...
Had these alleged thefts been going on for some time?
At least 5 years, as far as we can tell. All the recent thefts had been local. But before moving to Khurain village, he had been stealing from ruins around the world.
Dr. Buff was an international criminal.
This data lends itself to but one conclusion. Dr. Buff was a thief.
Oh, the main series really loves his international stuff lately.
You claim he stole a family heirloom from the Attian residence? But claiming something doesn't make it true.
Unfortunately, it is true.
How can you be so sure?
A police report was filed concerning the theft. 1 year ago, in fact.
What? A whole year ago?
August 25th of last year, to be exact. The report states, and I quote, "The crystal of Ami Fae was discovered to be missing." From the Attition storehouse at 10 a.m. The storehouse lock had been picked. Signed, Paul Attition Wimperson.
Wimperson? Well, a year-old report certainly leads the plaintiff's claim credits. The doctor could really have stolen the crystal of Ami Faye.
Not only that, Your Honor, but the Founder's orb was only found to be missing several weeks ago. That is nearly a year after the crystal's theft was reported. Therefore, I believe we must consider the orb and the crystal to be two separate items.
Hello?
Politician Wimperson? Not the most awe-inspiring tail end, is it? I see why he cut it. Not that he inspires confidence without it. Still, I'd probably do the same in his shoes.
Add that in there.
A police report was filed about the crystal's theft a year ago. But the theft of the Founder's Orb was only reported a few weeks ago. So the crystal's police report was filed way before the orb was found missing. That suggests the stolen relic is the crystal of Ami Faye, as Mr. Attition Wimperson asserts. I doubt the police report is a fake. After all, Emma is the one who submitted it as evidence. Still, I feel like something we learned in that police report is important somehow.
Okay, what we're gonna do here now is look at the fifth statement again. We're gonna present the email we found. Yes.
Objection!
The doctor stole the relic from the plaintiff. Are you sure? Because that statement doesn't agree with a certain piece of evidence.
What do you mean?
Take a look at this.
What about it?
This contains an email from the doctor's computer.
Email? In that little piece of plastic? I'm afraid I don't understand. Old Judge.
This stick here can store all sorts of computer data.
I still don't get it.
Here, just look at this.
Do you know what a floppy disk is? Just think of a floppy disk, but with more stuff you can stick in there.
Apparently, the doctor was reporting his research findings to a certain individual. Now, take a look at this. It's the police report Detective Sky presented to this court. You can see the plaintiff's legal name on it. Politician Wimperson.
I can see why he dropped Wimperson from his name, but that's hardly breaking news.
Look closer, Your Honor.
Ah! His initials!
Right, the plaintiff's full legal name is Paul Attition Wimperson. Now consider this. The email's recipient's address starts with 3 letters.
P-A-W? Don't tell me.
Oh, but I will anyway. The individual who hired the doctor to study the disputed item is none other than Politician Wimperson.
Wait, then that means...
Exactly. He wouldn't have asked the man who stole his family heirloom to study it. Therefore, how could this possibly be the crystal of Ami Faye?
We never checked the doctor's emails.
Yeah, you should have been more thorough, man.
We couldn't even figure out the password to his computer.
The plaintiff willingly left the orb in the doctor's care so he could study it, at the behest of his benefactor.
Wait, then what about the police report? I have all the details of the theft right here.
It's probably for another relic, the real crystal of Ami-Fae. He's just using the report as a way to claim that our orb is actually his stolen crystal.
And how are you so certain that Paul refers to my client's initials? Maybe the email's recipient was a dog lover.
Perhaps. So let's get to know your client a little better, shall we? Mr. Politician Wimperson! His name tag.
Feh! I suppose shutting down detractors is all part of a politician's job.
Answer me this, Mr. Attition Wimperson. What is your birthday? What is your birthday?
My birthday? It's July 11th. What's it to you? Oh, I see. You can address birthday gifts to my office. But full disclosure, I only accept gifts valued at $1,000 or more.
Paul, did you just realize what you just did? I don't think you did.
Why has everyone gone silent?
There goes the screen.
How can anyone be that self-centered? Alright, politicians. Did everyone hear that? He said, July 11th. July 11, or rather, 7-11 matches the numbers in the email addressed. Both the name and birthday are a match. I hardly think that's a coincidence.
Wait. Why, you sneaky little...
Looks like someone finally decided to join the conversation. Would the plaintiff care to explain?
I would like to say, that is quite...
Quite what?
quite a thing you've said.
Any other thoughts? Sounds like he's prolonging this trial.
No further comments. I stand by my previous statement.
Oh, come back, you jerk!
You can't just walk away! Even politicians have to explain themselves in a court of law!
I'm afraid I simply don't know how it happened. I can't possibly explain matters outside my purview. Perhaps it was a mistake on the part of my secretary.
Oh, no you don't, you slippery eel. Mr. Wright, would you care to respond?
I won't argue your assertion. My client lent the treasure in question to the doctor and asked him to study it. It seems that much is a fact.
Now we're getting somewhere.
However, it has no bearing on the issue of ownership.
How so?
Mr. Attition, I fully understand your position here. You had to hide the fact that you sent the crystal out to be studied. Your family would have been very upset if they had found out. It's a family heirloom, after all.
You've got to be kidding me!
Damn, Wright is sneaky.
Mr. Wright is, well, right, of course. But then he always is. That's why he's my lawyer. The crystal is a precious Attition family heirloom. And it has been for centuries. But Dr. Buff was so eager to study its proud heritage, I just couldn't say no. I didn't even tell my grandfather.
But in order to win the backing of your so-called benefactor, you are going to give what you claim to be the crystal of Ami-Fae to that person? You are going to give a precious family heirloom away, just like that?
I was gonna explain everything to my grandfather later, honest!
My client's grandfather is very proud of his grandson for following in his footsteps. And if refusing him would have meant dashing the dreams of his darling grandson, I doubt the kindly old man could have said no.
Well, grandchildren are meant to be spoiled. That's what grandfathers are for.
Your Honor, please. I mean, it's been in the family for centuries.
My grandfather thinks highly of my talents as a politician.
Does he really?
That's why he entrusted me with this very important name placard today. So I'm sure he would have been okay with me using the crystal as I saw fit.
Grandpa's spoiled little brat. I think the judge is buying it, Apollo.
No surprise there. He's always going on about his own grandchild, after all.
Excuse me, can I leave now, Mr. Wright? I believe my work here is done.
By all means, Detective Sky. Thank you for your assistance.
You're welcome. It's nice to testify at a civil trial once in a while. See you around.
Later, Emma. Where are you off to, though, is the question. Alright. It seems the facts have changed somewhat. Mr. Otishan Whipperson apparently lent his family heirloom to Dr. Buff. Mr. Justice, how would the defense like to proceed?
Alright, now what? Apollo, let's hear what they know about this so-called crystal of Ami Faye. Maybe we can find some inconsistencies in their statements.
Right. Okay then, Mr. Wright. If the item in question really is an Otishan family heirloom, then let's hear all your client knows about it. I feel like that sentence is messed up.
Of course. Mr. Otishan Whimperson, please tell the defense everything you know about the crystal's origin.
Alright, now then, listen and learn. This is the tale of the Crystal of Ami Faye and the illustrious history of the Otishan clan.
Alright, we're gonna hear that statement in the next video because we are out of time. So I'll see you guys then. All he's done for Apollo. List all the things he's actually done for him.
Number 1, he taught him how to show his badge. Number 2, that hair.
Later, Emma. Where are you off to, though, is the question.
Bye. I'm off to the science lab.
Please proceed to the courtroom at once.
Okay, let's do this. Apollo, wait! Who's the other attorney? And where is Mr. Wright?
No time to explain. Let's go.
Okay, I'm right behind you.
Day 1. Court is now in session. All rise. Oh shit. Court is now in session. Is this some sort of a practice session? A mock trial, perhaps.
Take it you have no idea what today's case is about. Not a clue. Sorry. What is today's case about, if I might ask? Another locked room mystery? A suspect with a flimsy alibi? Ooh, or a dying message?
Sorry, strike 3, you're out. It's a civil case.
A civil case?
You act like I speak Swahili here.
It's just the Write Anything Agency specializes in criminal law, or so I thought. In civil cases, there are no prosecutors, right? Instead, both parties retain an attorney.
Right.
And the other attorney is someone you know very well. Really? Who?
Gregory Edgeworth. The trial will begin shortly. Please. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Spirit of Justice. We are heading into the first day of the trial, which is more or less just a civil dispute, so technically Phoenix Wright isn't really a prosecutor in this case. It's just dealing with a dispute between an orb, really, just deciding what that is. We're not really prosecuting anyone, per se. So, well, let's get going with this. I've tried to adjust my mic. It's being weird on me today.
Just so you know, I'm not gonna take sides. Message received, loud and clear. Good, because I don't like this one bit. You and Daddy should be on the same team. Sorry, Trucy. Wow, she's really mad.
I'm sorry, too, little lady. This is all my fault.
I'm just worried things will never be the same between Daddy and Apollo.
Oh, they'll be fine. They just eat over dinner. They'll have dinner and it'll be good. They'll be fine.
If they go through with this.
Is that all? Well, I wouldn't worry about that. That's the way it is with us men. We may fight, but we don't burn bridges.
Really?
Sure. One minute we're trading blows, and the next, we're having drinks together. We're simple creatures at heart.
I sure hope you're right. Sorry I'm late, Apollo. Athena, there you are. What happened with you and Mr. Wright yesterday? Oh, about that. I ended up going to the wrong airport.
Oh my goodness.
I was waiting there thinking his flight was really late, and before I knew it, I dozed off. By the time I woke up, it was already dark.
I figured something like that had happened. Oops, shit.
Being late and dozing off are the two things you do best. Ah, guilty as charged. So then,